Hello Mech Warriors, and welcome to our review of the Catapult C4 Eques 2. Today we'll be going over the original Catapult C4, its updated variant, the Eques 2, and then we'll be going over my own custom version of it, optimized to be the best possible version of a catapult. And I'll be going over a bit of strategy around using it. I'm going to start off by saying that I don't actually like the Catapult C4 variant very much. When you compare it to the Catapult C1. The C1 is actually a much more optimized mech. So here on the right we have the Catapult C4 original version. It has upgraded the LRM 15s to 20s and replaced the 2 medium lasers with 2 small lasers. It's also taken an additional 2 tons of ammo compared to the OG C1. Otherwise, it's basically the same mech. But with the C1 you can see that instead of a couple of paltry small lasers, it has 4 medium lasers for its up-close complement. It also has an additional 5 heat sinks. This allows the mech to jump and fire both of its LRM-15s without overheating at all, and only heat up slightly when using the complement of medium lasers while jumping. Meanwhile, if you look at the paltry 10 heat sinks of the Catapult C4, it can't even fire its LRM-20s while standing still and maintain its heat balance. The Eques 2 suffers from a similar problem. They didn't increase the amount of heat sinks at all, meaning that you can't really fire your entire complement of weapons while on the move, or for the LRM-20s even just when standing still without gaining heat. This is probably why we see the Catapult kind of hesitant to use its weapons. The pilot of Eques 2 knows that he has to maintain his heat balance. Another kind of strange but interesting addition to the Eques 2 is 2 vehicular mine dispensers. This interesting piece of equipment allows it to lay down minefields behind it as it walks. This could be really interesting for laying traps or trying to keep light mechs off your back. It also brings back almost the full laser complement of the C1 Catapult with 3 medium lasers, which, considering its lower amount of heat sinks, is about the right amount of medium lasers that you would even want on this thing. So, what can we do to improve this mech? Well, the first thing I'm going to point out is that LRM-20s are not particularly good weapons when compared to LRM-15s. LRMs have this weird problem where they're the most efficient on odd-numbered launchers. So LRM-5s and 15s end up costing a lot less tonnage per missile than 10s and 20s do. The LRM-20 does have the advantage that it's a little bit less hot per missile fired, but with the tonnage that you save, you could just take more heat sinks. So my first fix is going to be removing all of the LRMs and their ammo. Now don't worry, we're going to keep the spirit of the Catapult. One thing that I don't like about the C1 is that it doesn't carry quite enough ammo, only 2 tons, meaning that it has 8 volleys between its 2 launchers. So using that endo steel weight savings, we're going to be bringing in some LRM-15s and some LRM-5s to replace the launchers that we had. And there's a very specific reason for this. We see Eques 2 use smoke. There are probably smoke launchers like modern tanks have, but the only way to do it in-game is to have smoke ammo. And considering that it covers 4 mechs, I'm assuming that it needs to have at least 4 launchers that can shoot smoke out in one round. So that's what we're bringing. And on the other side, we're going to be bringing the classic LRM-15. We'll take 1 ton of smoke ammo and 2 tons of standard LRM-5 ammo, along with 2 tons of standard LRM-15 ammo. We're now sitting at 13 heat with our LRMs, and I'd like to be able to fire while on the move, so we're going to increase our number of heat sinks to 14. We're going to be a little bit sneaky and remove one of the jump jets. This still gives a good jumping distance that allows us to get 2 TMM, but it frees up a little bit of extra tonnage, which we're going to put towards armor. We now have a very respectable armor spread of at least 20 on every part. Most importantly, the arms are now properly protected. I'm going to slot the heat sinks into our legs so that we can get some extra cooling if we happen to be standing in water. It also gives us excellent crit padding for the legs. Alternatively, we could also swap the heat sinks into the torsos, which seems only logical to me. I would assume that having these in the legs would make it easier to dump mines behind you. Or we could also put the heat sinks in the arms, which would give extra crit padding for the ammo. Now the Catapult is actually capable of laying down smoke like we saw in the video. It can lay it down in a straight line, offering complete blockage of line of sight to one unit, or in a square pattern so that it can provide 2 points of cover for anything behind it, or in a long line to offer cover to multiple mechs. So there you have it, Mech Warriors. I think that my design is a little bit more capable than the Eques 2. It's not firing quite as many missiles per launcher, but the sheer amount of shots that you get makes it more likely that something is going to hit. And the launcher in the left arm can't be taken out by a single SRM from an infantry unit. I mean, unless it hits the ammo, of course. And crucially, the armor can't be as easily penetrated. Both arms now have 5 extra points of armor, meaning that they can take 2 PPC hits before going internal. And the side torsos can take an extra SRM-2 shot or a small laser. Even the legs now have an extra 1 point of armor each, allowing them to take an SRM-2 and 2 PPC shots without going internal. This mech is more than capable of firing its long-range complement while walking, and only picks up a little bit of heat while running. And it can jump behind enemy units and fire its 3 medium lasers while losing 2 heat. This mech can lay down massive smoke screens, which when combined with the chaff pod on the Hunchback makes the Lance capable of creating its own cover wherever it is. If I was building this mech myself, I'd probably just remove the mine dispensers and take an extra medium laser, but everyone who's been watching me for a while knows I'm a medium laser fiend. Thanks for watching, everyone. Please share this with your fellow mech warriors. Leave a like down below and a comment on how you think I did with my custom build. What would you change about it? And make sure to go check out TMC's amazing content. Have a great day, spheroids.
But go fuck yourself, planners.